Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Power of Three Trading. This is Dee Dee. I'm not here just to teach you the strat, but teach you how to profit from the strat techniques or help you avoid some of the mistakes like I'll be talking about today. If you have questions regarding the strat, please reach out to my guy, Rob Smith at Smiths in the Black channel, at Robin the Black on Twitter, and at Sepia Group. So yesterday we left our trend lines on Tesla because we said if price continued to trade lower, then our lines were still intact because we drew them on the daily several weeks back. And we left them on the higher trend line, the trend lines on the higher time frames or above if price traded higher, because they did not trade above in the prior day, they traded lower. So we felt like those trend lines were still intact as well. I did not execute Tesla well at all yesterday, guys. You know, I like my signals off of the 18-minute time frame. And so when you have a scenario, so what happened with Tesla, right? So it stayed inside, it did not trade lower. So at the open, this is the daily, if you can see this, the low of the day was the low of May 24th was 620.57. Yesterday's low was 623.01. So when it opened, it did not take the low of the day. All right, so we knew we weren't going to go short at the open. This is the open 18 minutes. Here's your 6-minute candle. So I like to wait for the first 18-minute candle to close, right? Well, that created an outside bar. So when that happens, I'm not clear at this point in which direction the market is going. So here's your 18-minute flip here. Price traded 3, 2, and I saw this. Don't ask me why I didn't get in here, because this would have been my target. So this would have been the scalp trade here. Why? Because you have an outside bar here. These are tricky, choppy mess, tricky. And so what you see here is you have this 3 that formed. So you have a 3, 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 a 3. I mean, all day long. And so when you see all of these outside bars on these smaller time frames, that's just choppy noise. And I tell you, I was patient, and I just actually didn't trade this, right? So I said, you know what? I have a 3, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, another 3, 2 up, inside bar, 2 down, but still in this range, 2 up. I actually took this short here in the last 18 minutes of the 90-minute candle. So this is right before this 90-minute flip right here. So I saw this outside bar shooter, maybe a potential reversal here. So I took this here, traded it down. So here's where I drew this broadening formation I drew yesterday, intraday. This was the high of the prior day's range. So I drew that here. And so this was my target. It traded below that. I held it, and then on the flip, it immediately came back up. So I had to take profit here, small profit, right? I didn't do anything else, right? So now you have this inside bar, but this is what you have, because this is all inside this range, right? This is inside this 18-minute candle here. Okay, so you can see that on the 6-minute chart. You have this 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, and then you have all of this inside that range. So I drew this blue line here, trend line, from the high of this day. So this was on May 23rd, right? So this was the high of this day. So I drew this down here, because if we were going to go higher, price is going to have to trade above this range to take out this guy here. This is an inside bar here. So difficult, I tell you. I didn't trade this. I didn't trade this. What I did though, is I tried to take this short here. Last 18-minute candle before the 2 o'clock flip. I totally forgot that Fed minutes were coming out. This came down, I'm in the money, it hit this level, I blinked, so came down here and immediately came back up in that next candle. I ended up losing money, jumped out of the market. Now I'm frustrated. So I didn't get back in here. The Fed minutes basically said, yep, we're gonna raise interest rates more frequently, probably, and 50 basis points. They're trying to curb inflation. So in my mind, here's what I did, guys, and it may not work out well for me today. So I said, okay, then at the bottom of the last 30-minute candle here, I said, I'm gonna short this. So I did. I held it overnight and look at what's happening. I'm like, seriously, I have this 2 down bar, this 2 up bar. You have inflation that's out of control. Fed's gonna raise rates. So I took a gamble, probably gonna lose, that this will go 2 down, continuation, full time frame continuity to the downside. I don't know if it's gonna work out for me. As you see, it's gapping to the upside now. And so we'll redraw our targets, but obviously if it takes out yesterday's high, I'm probably going to be in a losing situation. Tomorrow is option expiration, and theta's going to kill me. Theta's going to kill me. So I understand that. I knew it was a risk, but if that happens, you know, probably be my well. Yesterday I had actually losing day, first losing day in quite a while. I've been doing very well this year, and then I made this big blunder here, and I knew I shouldn't have held it, but I did. So, all right, so that was Tesla. This was hard. So if you're trading, so here's how you would do this. Again, we talked about conflict. You have to be on these shorter time frames. So there were entries. I missed them because I was on my 18-minute list looking for an inside bar. You had this shooter here. So that was this move here. This would have been a good entry right here off of this outside bar. You had a 3-1, create another outside bar. You could have taken that shooter there. Here was a bit tricky, but once it crossed over this level, I knew we weren't going to go short here, right? Once it traded, because this was our previous broadening formation we had drawn. You're now back inside this range here. So it was choppy, difficult trade, but you could have made it work if you were on the shorter time frame looking for those 3-1-2s, 3-2-2s. And that's how you'll want to trade, do scalp trading. And just when it hits your target, the high of that 3 bar, take your money and run. If it continues, great, but if it doesn't, you have to get out of those trades. Okay, so we'll see what happens. I'm not pleased at how I'm finishing up this week. The other one was, what was I in? Yeah, Etsy. Let's look at that. Again, didn't play it to the upside. Took the reversal on it. Same scenario though, guys. I did not trade this well. We're in conflict, going against time frame continuity. I waited, looking for a reversal, and so you guys know I like the 90-minute flip. And so when I see price action, and this would have been again a really nice move. It kind of looks like Tesla, right? Had I been 3-2, then taken this to the upside, did not trade that to the upside, waited looking for inside bars, didn't happen. Then I took the reversal here, was able to make a couple dollars, but it didn't cover me for the big loss I had in Tesla as a result of the Fed minutes. Man, those options moved fast and I couldn't get out of them fast enough. Hitting market orders, got smoked. So that was my day. So really kind of lazy day. I don't know, just wasn't really focused on trading this to the upside. I think when we talk about the psychology of trading, guys, we get our mindset on price going in a certain direction, which is not good, right? Because I use my broadening formations generally. Let me go back to Tesla. And I know in my mind, I'm not going to short here, but I didn't prepare myself psychologically to just go long for whatever reason. And I think it was because we had hit our lows, and we talked about that, right? We talked about that where Tesla had put in its low for the month. And here we are at the end of the month, but psychologically, I just did not prepare my mind and look at it pre-market. It's already trading above yesterday's high. So yeah, I'm screwed. Yeah, I just didn't prepare my mind for the trade that's higher for some reason. And so that's something I'm going to work on and just kind of regroup today. Like I said, I held this option contract put to the short side. And today is a new 2-day candle, just not thinking through this. And you see this little doji hammer here and price going to the upside. Yeah, I just did not think through this at all. So we'll be taking a pause today. I'll get out of this trade and we'll regroup. So let's look at not a lot gapping this morning. So Snow, NVDA, NVIDIA, we'll see. I like NVIDIA as a long, but let me get rid of this stuff here. That was yesterday's. Let me see what else is on the screener list. BABA, NVIDIA, Datadog. I don't typically trade Medtronic. All right, so NVIDIA reported yesterday, and earnings were great, right? They beat on the top and bottom line, but their guidance was light. Guys, the reality is, and this is what's got me all tripping over this market coming, creeping up today. The reality is inflation is hitting us. NVIDIA is guided down on the production side, and they're slowing hiring. And so they're guiding down on their revenue for this quarter. And more companies are saying kind of the same thing. They're either laying off resources, they're on hiring freezes, and they're waiting to see how inflation impacts their production, because obviously the whole point is to curb demand. And so do we fall into a recession? We don't know, but you have to think, how's that going to impact some of these companies? And so NVIDIA guidance came in light to reflect inflationary measures. They also blame some of their guidance on the Ukraine war and China closures again. So we'll have to see how that works out. But as a result of that, I'm really skeptical about jumping back into positions on the long side. But I like this company, and we'll see how it trades today. But for now, it's gapping down, right? As a result, so they're down, looks like about 4.3%. And then Snow also reported yesterday, again, I didn't read up on their guidance, but obviously it must have come in light as well, because they too beat on top and bottom lines. And so that's why I'm curious as to where this market is going to go today, because, you know, even the companies that aren't reporting are, you know, looking at taking some more precautionary measures to help beat inflation. If borrowing costs are going up, right? So Fed is raising rates, cost of capital is rising, they may slow some projects, right? So we don't know what this is going to look like, especially in the tech space. Okay, so we'll chart those. They're definitely on my list. BABA, they haven't reported yet, but for some reason they're on today. They report today. So, but the Chinese names, BABA, Baidu, JD, I think they're all on the rise today. Datadog is gapping down as well. I'm not sure what the news is on that. I did not read up on Datadog, but they're showing up on my screener. So these will be the ones I will have on my daily watch list. And so let's look at that. We had a question about CrowdStrike. So, yeah, if CrowdStrike trades with the broader market, we got this 2-2 on the 2-day. Yeah, there may be an opportunity, but it's still inside this pattern here, so it'll need to clear. Yesterday started a new 3-day. So potential there. Take yesterday's high. That's a potential for it to continue to trade higher. But again, you're at the end of the month on CrowdStrike. I like to trade this company. I'll keep it on my list. All right, so let's get to charting, because I'm just baffled by my trading yesterday. Maybe it's all of the emotions. You guys know I was really emotional yesterday. I just wasn't thinking clearly, because I did not trade Tesla well at all. Let's see. Let's start with NVIDIA. Let's get to charting, guys. Let's see how we can make some money today. All right, let me delete these old trend lines. All right, so it's gapped down about $6-7 here, but it's inside this range. So it's not too far out of reach, right, for a reversal, but just keep in mind, you're at a 2 down, 2 up. It may trade in this range, which was $11. So there may be an opportunity to squeeze something out if it trades inside this range on a reversal. Let's chart it, but just keep in mind, I hate these these outside bar trading while price is inside and outside bar. So we're gonna go here. Let's see. No, that's too high. 171.11. Okay, and so that's the high of yesterday's range, and this is the low of yesterday's range. Yeah, I'm gonna draw it that way. So what I'm gonna do, instead of drawing it higher, we got another outside bar. Instead of drawing it to the downside, I'm gonna draw it to the upside, and this is how I'm gonna treat it, because it's still inside this range here, guys, from yesterday. If it holds here, right, maybe price trades inside this range, maybe a little choppy. But if it breaks below this range, then we'll look to go short. Let me just change the color in this. Maybe we'll look to go short if it trades below this range. And then we got this outside bar here. This was from the 24th, but you still have this bar here to contend with, right? So remember, this was a 2 down bar. So you got this guy, so it needs to trade below yesterday's low. So I'm looking at if price trades below this level, we'll look for a short. But this is yesterday's low is what? 160. So it needs to clear 160. Otherwise, so I drew this broad information off this level, which is 159.70. So it needs to clear this outside bar here at 159.7. For this to potentially take this 2 down bar here, right? So this low here is 159.56. So we drew this broadening from this is 159.70, 69, 70, right? So essentially it needs to clear this line. Take this lower, take this. And if that happens, then maybe price trades lower. What's that? 155.01. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so that's the lower broad information for this guy. And then if it trades below that, then we just go down here to these next 2 down bars. So that covers 157. This would be 155.67. Let's see. Broad information for that. That would be the same. 155.67. Yeah, those lines are really close, guys. So I don't think it's going to matter much. So basically, if what we're looking at is if NVDA trades below, change this color. If NVIDIA trades below yesterday's low, then it's got to take out this range. So we're looking at a target of 160, and it's got to take out this range. I'm sorry, not 160, 157, call it 157.50, and then this range about 155.60. So we'll be just looking for price to take out these lows from these 2 down bars on the daily. We'll look at the Qs too and see where it's trading. But if not, if it does not and stay inside this range, like it's trending now, then you have this big 90-minute, and not even 90. Look at this on the 18. You got this first 18 minutes to contend with, guys. And so this is where, and then all of these 3 bars, this will be tricky. So what I would do with the way I would trade NVIDIA is I would do scalp trading if it trades inside this range, because now you have this guy to combat. I'm gonna draw it this way off this 3 bar, and maybe actually let's do it this way because I got a 3 bar here. We got a lot of 3 bars, guys. Jeez Louise. Okay, no. All right, so I'm gonna do this 3 bar here, and then this 3 bar here. All right, so basically, no, I'm gonna delete this one. So what I'm saying is if price trades above this range, maybe it continues to go long, but this is gonna be very difficult because you have all of these outside bars in this range. So basically, so what I did was I drew this outside bar back to this outside bar here. It's got it. This is the upper broadening formation, but it's the lower range for this range here, right? But we drew it up because what we're looking for is if price trades up, we're going to basically stay out of this range. We want it to trade above this range for potential long and to take out yesterday's high. But looking at all of these outside bars, and keep in mind, you're still inside this range, I think it's going to be a tricky trade. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Yeah, we don't need that bar. We're just going to scalp because this is a big range. If it trades inside this range, I'm not going to be looking to get into a position here. When I look at this outside bar on this 90, and you can see actually where I drew this actually does line up with the lows of these 90-minute bars. I didn't even see that. But here you can look at this and say, this is the 11 o'clock low. This is the 2 o'clock low, guys. So it has to trade. We want to avoid this inside this big range here. But even if it trades above here, you got another outside bar, guys. So just be careful. I would just be doing scalp trades. Don't expect much to happen unless you get the broader market trading up or down, meaning it's rallying to the upside or it's puking to the downside. So just be careful. I don't care for the trade. Don't like those outside bars. Let's look at crowd. So Renee had this on her list. Yeah, so kind of the same thing there, Renee. You got this outside bar. So I'm going to draw this way. And so we definitely want price to go, if price is going to go higher, it's got to go stay above this outside bar here. Okay. But then you have this to contend with. So this is going to be tricky because you have a 2, 1. So you look at this, you got to get outside this range here. You have to get outside this range. I look to go long if it can trade above. So you got maybe a 2, 2 to the upside here on this 18-minute, but just be careful with that. This will be a tricky trade. And then on the downside, you know, again, price really needs to trade. That's a 2 down bar here. This is an inside bar. Maybe if you get a 2, 1, 2 to the downside, if price trades back below this level, 142, below 140, 170, whatever that was, 140, 183. Maybe you get because this was a 2 down, 2 up, maybe you get a 2, 2 continuation to the downside, but it may trade inside. Okay, so again, when you have these moves like this, big ranges, we want to be careful trying to trade inside those ranges. So again, scalp trade there. Okay, another outside bar here. So look for your 312s, 322s to do a scalp trade on that. Yeah. And so you're welcome. Let's look at snow because that was another big gapper, guys. It's down quite a bit. Let me see where it's at, 16.5% on snow. So clearly outside its average daily range. Let's look at it. Let me blow this daily up and let's look at what we can do here on a daily chart. Let's see where it's trading. Oh, yikes. It's at all-time lows, guys. Snow is an IPO in September 2020. Yeah, I don't have a range for this. I don't have a range for this. So when you have a scenario like this, all-time lows, guys, just look for again some scalp trades. Let's put this back on the daily. And what I'll do is we'll just draw this on the daily like this, because you're at all-time lows. This is the low of these two down bars here. So this would be target if price, so it's at 116.50. The low here is what, 125. Let's see that. 125.77. And so what I would look for is if price, so at the open, let's let her open. Let's see if it puts in a low, and this would be our target. So let's on a reversal. If this thing continues to trade down, I will not trade right to the downside, because I have no target there. I'd wait for a triangle to form on the 18-minute time frame. So what does that mean? Because this is a gapper and you're outside any range because it's at all-time lows, you won't get an outside bar. Okay. So what that means is you have to wait. You're going to have to wait at least to the top of the hour, 10:06, 10:06, for a potential triangle to form. And what the triangle would look like is you'd have a 2 down, right? Because it's gapping to the downside. You have a 2 down, maybe a 2 or inside bar. And then you can trade off that inside bar, up or down, using your shorter time frame. Okay. But that 2 bar, that opening 18-minute will be your range. Okay. The first 18 minutes is going to be your range. And so now you're looking for a scalp trade. If it's a reversal, let's say that 13, it puts in a low on the 6-minute and just trades higher. Wait for a triangle on that 6 minutes, TTO. It could be a reversal, so we don't know. That's why I said wait for that 18-minute to close. But wait for that when you see that 18-minute close and you get a potential 2-2 on the 6-minute or a 2-1-2 on the 6-minute, trading in the direction of the day, meaning if it opens here, trades up and stay above the open, that means you're trading in the direction of the day, which is green, right? If it reversals and comes back to the downside, then you're going to be trading lower, looking for potential reversal to the downside. So just be patient, wait for that 18-minute to close, and potentially even the top of that, the 30 close, right? So wait for the top of the hour. So just be careful with those anytime you have big gappers like that. The broader market, let's take a look at the Qs real quick. The broader market will give us some indication. Again, I don't have the news on this. The only thing I could see is maybe they guide it down, guide it light, like I'm starting to see with several companies, except for retail. I mean, it's like Macy's. Right? I don't trade Macy's, but I'm like, why is Macy's gapping up? You know, it's not in my range just because of the dollar amount. But, you know, retail says, hey, yeah, we're kicking butt. And I'm like, really? But if consumers stop spending, how long is that going to last, right? So anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly have curbed my spending. I'm like, yeah, geez, I love Chick-fil-A, but my gosh, my breakfast is like almost $9 now. Anyway, so let's look at the Qs real quick. Q. Okay. Yeah. So if the broader market trades higher, guys, which it looks like it wants to do, it looks like it wants to put in those lows from the month and trade higher. Don't know what that means for next week, but it looks like it wants to put in the lows for the month. We'll see what happens, how price opens up. it crossed above negative 100 yesterday. This should have been an indication to me, not to try to short Tesla. But anyway, it crossed above negative 100 yesterday and trading a little higher today. But that means nothing until the market opens, guys. So, because it's still early, right? We have another hour and a half before the market opens. Any news can come out and change the trajectory. But just be careful. Right now, our broad information still remain. So if price holds, continues to trade above this level, right? So where did we draw this broadening information here, right? That is from our monthly, right? So if price continues to trade up above this broadening information, which it closed right around that level yesterday, then maybe we can see potential 2-2 continuation on the daily. But again, looking at the month, we're at the end of the month, you got to know where your targets are. Okay, so this is where it hit yesterday. Let me just blow this up so I can see it better. Oh, this is better. All right, so you can see this was a 2 up, 2 down. I just drew that broad information here. That's the lower broad information for this range here. So anything above that per se. And you can see it hit it yesterday, came down a little bit. So it needs to clear this range, guys. Clear this range. Then you have this 2 up bar here, 294.39. So this, like I said, this is the lower broad information, right? But this is your 2 down bar. So it clears this, you have a 2 down potential. Don't know if it'll trade back above 300 this week, but that's what we'd be looking at if price continued to trade higher, okay? So keep that in mind. This will be your target. It hit it yesterday. So if price opens up, trades above it, it needs to trade above 294.39, this level here, and continue. If it stalls out here, create a doji, that's a potential reversal back into full time frame continuity. So we're going to be careful with how we see the daily on the Qs, and look at the SPY quickly. Same scenario, the SPY's put in a low here on our monthly broad information that we drew here, and had a nice 2 up, 2 down, 2 up here. If I were to draw this on this outside bar, again, you can see where it hit. But if it trades above this level today, guys, this is what we're looking at here. Trying to take out this range, and I'm going to draw it this way. So if it's got to take out this range, we can do it this way, or we can do it this way. Yeah, let's see how I want to draw this. This would be like my first target. So this is what, around 402 on SPY. So if it trades above yesterday's high, it's got to clear 402 to continue, 403.80 to take out this range. So this will be my first target because it's trading inside this range. So I'm going to draw this down, the lower broadening formation, instead of drawing it up. Let's see what's the high there, 403.80, 403.97. Right, instead of drawing it up to the upper broad information. But just keep in mind, it's got to clear 402 first, and then you got maybe around 405. Take out this range. So we could draw it both ways. I have such a mental note, but here's what we're looking at, guys, on that daily on the SPY. So it's trading above yesterday's high in pre-market right now. So it's got to clear this guy here. So we're going to call that around 401.75. If it clears there, then you have 404.85, this upper broad information for May 18th high. All right, so that's what we'd be looking at if price continues to trade higher. We have to keep in mind the open here was 412.07 on the month. So just keep that in mind that we're red on the month. So you're trading against continuity, full-time continuity. So you want to draw these broadening formations up and down so that you know where your target levels are. If they hit and reverse on your lower time frames, you want to take your profit and look for potential reversals. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go back and look at Tesla again. I think we talked about it. I did not walk through Tesla like I typically do. I think you guys remember I said, yeah, I'm just going to leave these lines. And so I was just not mentally prepared. So I'm going to remove these lines, redraw Tesla like I would normally do, because I didn't do that yesterday. So that's why I said, you know what, you weren't prepared. Your mind was not there. All right, so I'm going to redraw these lines on Tesla. A lot of these babies are crying. Oh, all right, so we're going to redraw these lines, guys. This is the high of the day. We got this 2 up. We got this 2 up. I don't think we have. Yep, 2 up there. 669.32, 666. Okay, so price trades above this range, right? Yesterday's high. Potential for it to go higher. If it comes back inside this range, guys, you still have this mess. It's got to clear out. So I would be very cautious about trying to short Tesla here because you got this big outside bar. So this low here is 650.23, 650. All right, so here's what I'm looking at. Here's what I'm looking at. This is going to be a tricky trade, whether you're long or short. It's got to clear these ranges. So again, very similar to the broader market. If it trades with the broader market, you can see Tesla go higher. Still a lot of love for Tesla. Right now in pre-market is trading above yesterday's high, or right around it at 670. It's got to take out this inside bar, 679.96. Right, that's this high here. In this range, I'm going to avoid. Right, I'm avoiding this at all costs. Why? Because this was just too inside, choppy. So above here, I'd look to potentially go long, below here, potentially go short, but it's got to clear this range, right? But remember, you're going against time frame continuity, so you have to draw these broadening formations. I'm going to use this outside bar here because if it trades above this range, you're inside these outside bars. These are going to be tricky to trade. Again, choppy. So just be careful. We'll be scalping. So my focus would be to do nothing unless price traded above this range. Why? Because it's already gapping here. So I'm going to let the market open. If it takes this out, it's here and reverses, then maybe I'll look for a scalp to the downside if the date goes red, right? So we have to wait for it to open. Let's see where it opens. If it opens, goes green, turns red within that first 90 minutes, then I'll look to go short. If it opens, turns green, stays green in that first 90 minutes, then I'll look for a scalp to go long. Big outside bar here. You have another outside bar here, guys. So all we'll be doing is, and that was my mistake yesterday. I should have been on the shorter time frame, just looking for scalps. Once I realized it was in a short term, it had hit a low inside day and traded to the upside. But here's what you're contending with on an 18-minute chart. So it goes above, trades above this range here, maybe, because these are all 2 down bars. So you got to get above these ranges. And so let's see if we can get since we have an outside bar here, and so many outside bars inside this range, we have a 2-up bar here. So we got this outside bar here. I'm gonna draw it this way. Yeah, I got this outside bar here. I have another outside bar here. Let's see what the low is. 703.11. That's outside the range. These are all outside the range. 703.39. This is inside the range. All right, so what we're gonna do is, guys, if we can get, if price action trades higher above this level here, this will be our target. So it's got to take this 2-down bar, this 2-down bar, and then this 2-down bar, but we're going to put our target right here at the low of this 3-bar, low of this outside bar here. So right around 700, which was a key level, excuse me, 701. So 700 is key level, right? The market loves zeros. So that's going to be our target, guys. So price, if Tesla trades higher, 700 is going to be our target. And if it trades lower, you're going to be inside this range, right? So we're going to use caution because I don't like trading inside an outside bar on a 90-minute. And so you got this noise here. So maybe if it trades below this outside bar here, but you have this other outside bar. So we're just going to use some caution with this 2-up bar here. Let's see. That's inside this range here. Let's see what's inside this range. We got this 3.2 here. We got this 3.2 here. Yeah, tricky. I'm going to draw it here. This is low is 642.34, 641. That's actually outside this range. I'm going to draw it here because this is inside this 3-bar. I'm looking for a trend line, to draw this trend line off this outside bar to another point that's actually trading inside this 3-bar range. And so I could draw it to this outside bar here. That's inside this 3-bar range because it basically has to take this level. Okay, I like this better. You see what I did here? All right, so this is what we know is we have an outside bar. We have to clear this, right? What we also know is we have this outside bar. We have to clear this as well. And so what I'm looking for is I'm gonna just draw this here. I'm looking for a range that's also a 2-up or an outside bar that, or a 2-down, preferably a 2-down or a 3 that's inside this range. So that's why I drew this. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for either a 2-down bar because we're trading this to the downside. So we got this outside bar. So we're going to draw this from the low of this outside bar to either a 2-down bar or another outside bar that is inside this range. And so what we identified was we drew this from this outside bar to this outside bar, the high of this outside bar because it's in this range. Here, here's where price will trade down as time goes on. What we're looking for is this will be our target that's inside this range. And you can see where this is the low of this bar. I'm going to delete it because we don't need it. And I'm going to delete this line because we don't need it. And so what I'm looking for is for price to trade, if price trades lower, below this range, there's a potential. So we drew this on the 90, right? So if it trades below this range, this would be a potential target. If it continues to trade lower, then it's got to take the low of the day because now you're inside this range. Possible, maybe not, but that would be the low of the day. But you have this to contend with. All right, so we'll just be careful. And so again, the way I would treat this is the way I should have done it yesterday was been on my shorter time frame and just look for scalp trades, inside bars, 322s. Okay, so that's how I'll treat Tesla and NVDA and as well as Snow, right? Crowd, we talked about 4 trades today, guys. Shorter time frames, inside bars, scalp trades. We're trading against time frame continuity, full time frame continuity. So don't, we can't predict that price action is just going to go sky high. We don't know. We're toward the end of the week, end of the month. So let's just wait, let the market open. Remember my favorite scripture, Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent lead surely to advantage, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty. This is a key example of what I did wrong yesterday on Tesla, and how while I was patient, I wasn't very diligent in my method. And so understanding when you're going in against conflict, we're going to have to get on these shorter time frames if you're going to trade today, or just don't trade. I mean, that's an option too. You can just say, hey, it's trading against full time frame continuity. I'm not even going to trade today. I tell you, if you did that and made your money trading full time frame continuity, you'd be fine. You know, take the day off and go do something else. But if you do want to trade daily and you know you're in conflict, hit your shorter time frames, scalp trades, take your money, get out. Don't fool around with it. Okay. All right. I appreciate you guys joining me. If you have any questions, again, you can hit me up on Twitter at R3D Pepsi. Subscribe to my channel here at YouTube. Thanks, everyone.